the thing is, you see, like, well, he's going to end the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. And that's a bad thing, is it? See, the way they say it like it's a really bad thing to stop wars. When he was in charge last time, they didn't do anything like that. So they go, oh, well, he's going to stop the war in Ukraine. How dare he? What? So it just proves that with those lines, it just proves, excuse me, that this whole thing is just a money laundering meat grinder. Well, hello, you gorgeous mother truckers, you, and welcome to another video. Right then, so we continue to currently shine a light upon the meltdown after Trump, and not only our leaders who have said things they now regret that they ever did say, we'll also highlight media bias and the frankly pathetic childish behaviour of people and just the general meltdown, because I'm just overflowed with the Tetley teacup of salty tears. It's literally, overflowing with them. But we also have to bring things to attention because it's not right. So let's bring this up, right? So this, as you can see, as I bring it down to make it up, this is, as it says here, this is how the BBC are reporting. So this was on the day. On the Trump's election week, it's appalling and biased. So let's just have a listen to what they have to say. And I've clicked the play button on the one screen and not the one I need. I keep doing that.
Well, 8 years after his stunning upset of Hillary Clinton, 4 years after Joe Biden evicted him from the White House.
Right, so the stunning, unbelievable win of Trump when he took up Clinton because they didn't understand. And then the Biden one. Now, there is, as it now turns out, they want to know where the 600,000 votes or even 700,000 votes that aren't there now, excuse me, that were then when Biden stole the election are. Yeah, that one's going to come out as well. Any case, let's carry on.
The former president is about to return to power on the back of a victory that swept across the key early voting battleground states and improved on his electoral margins in much of America.
Oh, just to let you know, obviously at the time of this recording, he won all of the swing states. All of them. Which is just an amazing. He won the popular vote. He's won everything. But in any case, let's carry on.
He claimed what he called an unprecedented and powerful mandate to govern.
Because that's what it was. Irrespective of what you want to protect. I mean, this just shows you the level of the BBC.
Gary O'Donoghue looks now at how this extraordinary political comeback has come about.
4 years ago, Donald Trump left the White House without even attending Joe Biden's inauguration.
He doesn't have to.
His attempt to overturn the election having failed. But now he's back, making history as only the second president to win 2 non-consecutive terms in office. It was more than 9 years ago when Donald Trump entered the political fray, upending the Republican Party and winning its nomination for the 2016 presidential election, with, to many, shocking rhetoric that would become his trademark.
They're bringing crime, they're rapists.
But to the surprise of
which they are, which isn't a lie.
Many, perhaps even the candidate himself, Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton and at his inauguration continued with the same dark tone.
This American carnage stops right here and stops right now.
You see, this is what these idiots, these left waffer members just don't get. They just don't get it. They don't understand it. They really, really don't. They just don't understand. And this is dark rhetoric. No, it's called national pride. Trying to fix your country first before anything else. But this is the BBC. This is the mainstream media. And this is why you think that people should swallow this rubbish.
At home and abroad, his presidency was a controversial one. He battled with the courts over a Muslim travel ban, over separating migrants from their children at the border.
Even though the Democrats had already done that before and after
and was investigated by a special counsel over Russian influence.
Which he was proved completely innocent, and it was all trumped up by, that's right, you lot.
Something he called a witch hunt and a hoax.
That's because it was. And are you, before I go any further, I've not listened to this. You should know I don't listen to all these things. I just bookmark them and come back. Are you going to say that it was proved without a shadow of doubt that that was all bullshit?
He also became
No, of course not.
only the third president in history to be impeached over accusations of holding up military aid to Ukraine for his own political ends.
No, because it shouldn't be sent. And, of course, the impeachment didn't work. But you're not going to mention that either, are you? Let me guess.
The Senate did not convict him.
Aha! So that's because they knew.
A booming economy was brought to a sudden standstill when the coronavirus pandemic hit in his final year in office.
What, was that his fault as well, was it?
Vaccines were produced in record time, but still more than 1 million Americans died of COVID-19.
No, they didn't. And this is the one thing that has always been a bone of contention and an argument. They died with COVID-19, not of COVID-19. I think it's less than 1% of people actually died of actual COVID. The rest of them died with it, with complications whilst they had it, of which most of them caught it in hospital. So that's rubbish.
Donald Trump himself was struck down by the virus, but recovered, returning to the White House and to fight for his re-election.
Because it's just a cold.
But he refused to accept defeat, erroneously claiming that the election had been stolen.
And before I play the... actually, no, let's play the speech. Let's play the speech.
You don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
So, now, after this election, there's over 800,000 votes that just didn't turn up. And if you look at the figures, the Democrats on average poll about 65 million, except for this particular one, where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 81 million people. And when they added it up, it was more than the population of the United States of America that were alive. And now, of course, we're going to go on to the bullshit of January 6th, no doubt.
His supporters stormed the Capitol. The violence shocked America and the world.
It didn't.
After the January the 6th riots, he became the only US president to have been impeached twice.
And he was clean of that because it was a load of rubbish.
Of office, he survived scandals that would have ended most political careers. He faced multiple court cases, both
which were brought by and used as lawfare. And he's been proved as lawfare because now he's the president. 3 of the cases have just been dropped because it's lawfare. The same lawfare that Tommy Robinson draws attention to, yeah? Where they used the courts to silence you.
With criminal and civil, and was convicted of covering up hush money payments to a porn star. Running again, he steamrolled his Republican opponents
the total initiative
and mocked Joe Biden during their debate over the president's performance.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Now, you see, even the American media began to realise somehow at the last minute that Biden should never have been president because he's a bumbling, child-sniffing idiot. So he wasn't mocking. What he said there was true, because if you could tell me exactly what was said at the end of that thing, then you're lying, and he's right. Even he doesn't know.
In July, Donald Trump came within inches of losing his life. A would-be assassin's bullet just grazed his ear, leading to a triumphant moment for the 45th president.
A triumphant moment. So let's. Well, it was a triumphant. I mean, someone tried to kill him, and you were all upset that he didn't succeed, didn't you? You biased arses.
Days later, he formally accepted the Republican nomination to take on Joe Biden, though before the week was out, President Biden had stood aside in favour of his vice president.
Which is very odd, because they are actually supposed to have a selection process, but it was just her. She just took over. I haven't got a Problem with me at all.
Immediately, the personal attacks began, directed at her intelligence and her race.
I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black.
Kamala Harris.
And that's absolutely right. It's a bit like the old Meghan Markle, who was actually down as on a acting sheet as Caucasian until being black suited her. And she's not black any case, by the way, just let you
And
know.
President Donald Trump are just moments.
A debate did little to shift the momentum either way, and the two remained neck and neck in the polls right up to Election Day.
No, they didn't. That, again, was another media-created lie. They weren't neck and neck. It was never going to be neck and neck. Never neck and neck. So you could try and say, the simple truth of the matter is, early on, you could see he was going to steamroller the hell out of this, and he did.
We will achieve.
Donald Trump has vowed to begin the biggest ever deportation of migrants in history.
Nothing wrong with that, and if it works there, we can do the same here.
He's also promised to end the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. He hasn't.
But the thing is, you see, like, well, he's going to end the wars in Ukraine and the Middle East. And that's a bad thing, is it? See, the way they say it like it's a really bad thing to stop wars. When he was in charge last time, they didn't do anything like that. So they go, oh, well, he's going to stop the war in Ukraine. How dare he? What? So it just proves that with those lines, it just proves, excuse me, that this whole thing is just a money laundering meat grinder. Because why would it be such a bad thing to stop the war? Just think a minute what they've just said. It's wrong. These people are demons. They're mental.
Said how he will do either of these things.
He'll do it quite easily, like he did with North Korea. Remember when North Korea were getting a bit all uppity-uppity? So he sent his general over to have a chat with them and actually gave them a plan in front of them and told them, this is how I can eliminate your country in 3 days. Think on. Just like when he was talking to the Taliban leader and he showed him a picture of his house and said, if you touch my soldiers while they're evacuating, here's your house, I'll come and kill you. Because that's how you deal with things. He can solve it and he will solve it. But the problem is are people going to do it? Because, I mean, the Ukraine is one of the multi-billion-dollar flipping laundering things. All that money that's gone there? Is it to buy arms? No, because we keep giving them away.
He's also said he'll take revenge on his political opponents. American.
Lie. He has not said that at all. That is a massive, steaming lie.
The world is in for some uncertain times. Gary O'Donoghue, BBC News, Washington.
No, you see, you're in for uncertain times. The world is going to change, and it's going to change for the good. It genuinely is going to change for the good. I mean, a lot of people are going to continually fill up the Tetley teacup of tears and cry and scream and moan and bitch. But the simple truth of the matter is, until you understand why he got voted in, which you just cannot do, you'll never understand anything. Any case, enough of that. I'm done. So, popping up over there will be 2 videos. One will be the last one I uploaded, and another one will be the one that the gods of YouTube have picked for you. Specifically for you, that you need to watch, because they're saying, well, that's the one you got last uploaded, but this one really appeals to what you want to hear. So, click on it and watch it. Why would you deny the gods of YouTube? Give it a like, give it a thumbs up. The more thumbs up I get, the more comments I get, the more the algorithm goes, oh, well, people are interested in this, and they spread it out to more people, and more people get to watch. Now, if you're one of the 78% of people who don't subscribe to my channel, why not? Just hit it. It's free. Costs you nothing. And once you subscribe, cool, done. I mean, that's it. You don't do anything. That's it. It's done. You're done. You're sorted. And everything's good. Everything's fine. Everything's wonderful. Everything's dandy. Any case. Enough of that. I'm done. So, from the inner corrections, until the next one.